Comprehensive report, anticipated 50% disruption in e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025. Introduction. As we progress toward Q4 2025, the global landscape of e-commerce education and telecommunications is poised for profound disruption, with estimates suggesting up to a 50% transformation in these sectors. This report synthesizes insights from industry experts, current trends, and anticipated changes, focusing on how companies can adapt to the evolving competitive dynamics and external pressures. Overview of anticipated disruptions. The anticipated disruptions can be attributed to several converging factors, including economic challenges, technological advancements, and shifting consumer preferences. Companies in e-commerce education and telecommunications are expected to undergo radical changes in their operations strategies and customer engagement models. 1. E-commerce dynamics. Cost management and efficiency, in response to ongoing economic pressures. E-commerce businesses are expected to prioritize cost management and operational efficiency. This includes streamlining order management and fulfillment processes to enhance customer satisfaction and reduce overhead costs. AI integration. The role of artificial intelligence (AI) in e-commerce is set to expand significantly. Companies are increasingly adopting AI for personalized customer experiences, predictive analytics, and inventory management. This trend is exemplified by businesses like Publio.pl, which utilize AI to manage extensive catalogs and tailor offerings to individual consumer needs. Marketplace evolution. E-commerce marketplaces are evolving, with established players like Amazon and Allegro dominating significant market shares, while mid-sized companies explore niche opportunities. The concept of micro-monopolies is emerging as consumers gravitate toward trusted platforms that offer convenience and reliability. 2. Education sector transformation. Online learning growth. The educational landscape is witnessing a shift towards online and hybrid learning models. Institutions are leveraging digital platforms to enhance accessibility and flexibility in course offerings. The integration of AI can facilitate personalized learning experiences, improving student engagement and outcomes. Collaboration and resource sharing. Educational institutions are expected to form strategic partnerships to share resources and technologies, fostering innovation and enhancing the quality of education. 3. Telecommunications advancements. 5G and connectivity. The rollout of 5G technology is set to revolutionize telecommunications, enabling faster data transfer and enhancing connectivity for businesses and consumers alike. This will facilitate the growth of IoT, Internet of Things applications, and smart city initiatives. Cybersecurity focus. With the increasing reliance on digital infrastructure, telecommunications companies will prioritize cybersecurity measures to protect sensitive data and ensure service continuity. Key trends and use cases. 1. E-commerce optimization. Dynamic pricing strategies. E-commerce businesses are revising their pricing strategies to remain competitive in the multi-channel sales environment. Dynamic pricing will allow companies to respond swiftly to market changes and consumer demand. Sustainability initiatives. As consumers become more eco-conscious, e-commerce companies are adopting sustainable practices and aligning with environmental, social, and governance (ESG) principles. This includes offering sustainable products, reducing carbon footprints, and promoting transparency in supply chains. 2. Technological adoption. Generative AI. The integration of generative engine optimization (GEO) alongside traditional SEO will become essential as businesses adapt to AI-driven search landscapes. Companies will need to optimize their content for new search methods to remain competitive. Cybersecurity investments. The rise in cyber threats necessitates substantial investments in cybersecurity infrastructure. Companies must prioritize data protection and compliance to build consumer trust and ensure operational continuity. 3. Sustainability and local brands. Re-commerce growth. The second-hand market is flourishing, with platforms like Vint leading the way. This trend reflects a broader shift towards a circular economy, where consumers prioritize unique and sustainable products over fast fashion items. Preference for local brands. Consumers are increasingly favoring local brands that offer transparency and shorter supply chains. This shift is driven by a desire to support local economies and reduce environmental impact. Timeline of anticipated changes. 2023 to 2024, companies begin to explore AI applications, enhance personalization, and prepare for anticipated economic challenges. 2025, the anticipated 50% disruption occurs as businesses adapt through advanced technologies, operational streamlining, and a focus on sustainability. Common themes across sources. 1. Operational efficiency, across all sectors. There is a shared understanding that enhancing operational efficiency and managing costs will be crucial for navigating the anticipated disruptions. 2. Technological integration. The integration of AI and advanced technologies is universally acknowledged as a critical factor in enhancing customer experience and operational processes. 3. Sustainability focus. A collective emphasis on sustainability and ethical practices signifies a transformative shift in consumer behavior and business strategies. Differences between sources. While there is a consensus on the importance of AI and sustainability, perspectives differ on the pace of adoption and the immediacy of consumer behavior changes. Some sources indicate a rapid shift towards local brands and sustainability, while others suggest a more gradual transition. Conclusion. The convergence of economic challenges, technological advancements, and evolving consumer expectations is set to redefine the landscapes of e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025. Companies that prioritize operational efficiency, technological integration, and sustainability will be best positioned to adapt and thrive in this evolving environment. As we move forward, businesses must remain agile, embracing innovation and aligning their strategies with the changing demands of consumers. The anticipated disruptions present both challenges and opportunities, and organizations that are proactive in their approach will emerge as leaders in their respective fields. Counterintuitive information in the anticipated disruption of e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025. 1. Perception of AI as a revolutionary force versus practical implementation. While there is a widespread belief that AI will revolutionize sectors like e-commerce education and telecommunications, many experts suggest that the reality is more nuanced. The optimism surrounding AI often overlooks the significant challenges in practical implementation. Many organizations struggle to move beyond proof-of-concept stages, indicating that while AI has immense potential, realizing it in a meaningful way requires advanced infrastructure and a deep understanding of internal processes. This contrasts with the common narrative that AI adoption is straightforward and transformative. 2. Consumer demand for local brands versus global e-commerce giants. There is a growing consumer preference for local brands, which seems to contradict the prevailing belief that global e-commerce giants like Amazon and Alibaba will continue to dominate the market indefinitely. The anticipated rise of local brands stems from increasing ecological awareness and a desire for shorter supply chains. This shift suggests that consumer trust is not solely placed in established global platforms but is also influenced by a growing preference for sustainability and ethical practices, challenging the notion that size always translates to market power. 3. Dynamic pricing and consumer trust. The emphasis on dynamic pricing strategies designed to optimize profits amidst competitive pressures may inadvertently erode consumer trust. While businesses are advised to adopt flexible pricing to stay competitive, this could lead to a negative perception among consumers who may feel they are being taken advantage of. The expectation for transparency in pricing is growing, yet companies are advised to introduce more complex pricing structures, which may contradict consumer desire for straightforward and fair pricing. 4. Re-commerce growth versus fast fashion consumer habits. The rising trend of re-commerce where second-hand products are increasingly favored presents a counterintuitive challenge to the fast fashion industry. While there is a significant push towards sustainability and the circular economy, a substantial segment of consumers still prefers cheap, low-quality clothing. This highlights a disconnect between the eco-conscious narrative and actual consumer behavior, suggesting that the adoption of sustainable practices may be slower than anticipated, even as awareness grows. 5. Cybersecurity as a competitive advantage versus consumer awareness. The investment in cybersecurity is positioned as a strategic necessity for businesses, yet it often does not resonate with consumers as a direct benefit. While companies are urged to prioritize cybersecurity to ensure operational continuity and protect data, the average consumer may not recognize or appreciate these efforts unless they experience a breach or data loss. This creates a paradox where the most critical investments for a company's survival do not translate into immediate consumer trust or loyalty. 6. Educational disruption versus traditional learning preferences. In education, the anticipation of significant disruption driven by technology may overlook the persistent value placed on traditional learning methods. Despite the push for online learning and digital resources, many students and educators still prefer in-person interactions. This suggests that while technological integration is essential, the demand for personal connection and traditional educational experiences remains strong, contradicting the assumption that digital solutions will completely replace conventional methods. 7. Sustainability as a marketing strategy versus genuine consumer commitment. The increasing focus on sustainability and ESG principles in business strategies could be viewed as a marketing strategy rather than a genuine commitment to ecological practices. While companies pivot towards sustainability to meet consumer demand, there is skepticism about the authenticity of these initiatives. Many consumers, particularly younger generations, are quick to spot greenwashing, leading to a potential backlash against brands that fail to genuinely commit to sustainable practices, thus challenging the effectiveness of sustainability as a straightforward competitive advantage. 8. Short supply chains and globalization. The anticipated preference for shorter supply chains contradicts the established trend of globalization, where businesses have traditionally sought to minimize costs through global sourcing. While local production and sourcing are gaining traction due to consumer preferences for sustainability and transparency, this shift challenges the long-standing economic models that favor efficiency and cost reduction through global supply chains. It suggests a complex interplay between economic realities and evolving consumer values. 9. The role of generative AI in marketing versus traditional SEO. The growing importance of generative engine optimization (GEO) presents a paradox for companies entrenched in traditional SEO practices. As generative AI tools reshape how consumers discover products, businesses must navigate a transition that may not align with their established marketing strategies. This shift could create a divide between companies that quickly adapt to new technologies and those that continue to rely on traditional methods, highlighting that innovation can also lead to fragmentation within the industry. 10. Perceived economic crisis versus opportunities for growth. The anticipated economic crisis is generally viewed as a negative force, yet it may present unique opportunities for innovation and growth. Companies that effectively respond to economic pressures by optimizing processes, leveraging technology, and embracing sustainability could emerge stronger. This perspective suggests that disruption, often seen as detrimental, can also catalyze positive transformation within industries, challenging the notion that crises solely lead to decline. These counterintuitive insights reveal the complexities and nuances in the anticipated disruption of e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for stakeholders seeking to navigate the evolving landscape effectively. In analyzing the report titled Anticipated 50% Disruption in E-Commerce Education and Telecommunications by Q4 2025, several critical insights emerge that many may overlook but are significant for understanding the future landscape of these industries. Below are important content areas that warrant a closer examination. 1. Micro-monopolies and consumer trust. The emergence of micro-monopolies, particularly in e-commerce, indicates a pivotal shift in consumer behavior and market dynamics. Companies like Allegro and Amazon are capturing substantial market shares, leading to a scenario where consumer trust is increasingly directed towards established platforms. This trend highlights the importance of reliability and familiarity in purchasing decisions. Significance: understanding the dynamics of micro-monopolies is crucial for new entrants and existing players. It underscores the need for brands to cultivate consumer trust through consistent quality and service rather than merely competing on price. New businesses may struggle to gain traction if they do not recognize the weight of consumer loyalty to established players. 2. The role of generative AI and GEO. The report emphasizes the integration of generative AI and the necessity for companies to adapt their marketing strategies to include generative engine optimization (GEO) alongside traditional SEO. This shift is particularly relevant as consumer search behaviors evolve towards AI-driven recommendations. Significance: companies that fail to incorporate GEO into their digital strategies risk obsolescence. As AI technologies reshape how consumers discover products, businesses must prioritize investing in these technologies to remain relevant. The ability to adapt to these changes will be a key competitive differentiator. 3. Sustainability's impact on brand preference. Rising ecological awareness is not just a trend but a fundamental shift in consumer purchasing behavior. The increasing preference for local brands and sustainable practices cannot be overstated, as consumers are now willing to boycott companies that do not align with their values. Significance: brands must recognize that sustainability is becoming a non-negotiable aspect of their value proposition. Companies that ignore this shift may find themselves at a competitive disadvantage. The focus on environmental, social, and governance (ESG) practices is not merely about compliance, it is essential for long-term customer loyalty and market positioning. 4. Cybersecurity as a foundational element. The report identifies cybersecurity as a critical area of investment due to rising cyber threats. Companies must treat cybersecurity not just as a compliance issue but as a foundational component of their operational strategy. Significance: with data breaches potentially costing companies significantly more than preventive measures, understanding the long-term implications of cybersecurity investments is vital. As consumers become more aware of data privacy issues, a strong cybersecurity posture will enhance brand credibility and consumer trust. 5. The rise of e-commerce and circular economy. The growth of the second-hand market and platforms like Vint reflects a broader societal shift towards a circular economy. This trend is driven by both economic considerations and a desire for unique, sustainable products. Significance: businesses must consider how this shift affects their product offerings and marketing strategies. Brands that can pivot to incorporate e-commerce strategies will not only appeal to budget-conscious consumers but also those motivated by sustainability. 6. Dynamic pricing strategies. As multi-channel sales environments grow more complex, the need for dynamic pricing strategies becomes paramount. Companies will have to revise their pricing policies to remain competitive across various sales platforms. Significance: the ability to implement dynamic pricing effectively will be a crucial skill for businesses. Companies that can leverage data analytics to adjust prices in real time according to market demands will have a significant competitive edge. Conversely, those that cannot adapt may suffer from reduced margins in sales. 7. Educational disruption and technological integration. Though the report primarily focuses on e-commerce and telecommunications, it mentions anticipated disruptions in education. The integration of technology is expected to reshape educational delivery and accessibility. Significance: As educational institutions adapt to these changes, there will be opportunities for tech companies to innovate and offer solutions. Understanding the interplay between technology and education can lead to new business ventures and partnerships, particularly in developing markets. 8. Local brands versus fast commerce giants. The report discusses the declining market share of Asian fast commerce platforms in favor of local brands. This trend reflects a growing consumer preference for shorter supply chains and greater transparency. Significance. Recognizing this shift is crucial for both local brands looking to capitalize on their advantages and for international players needing to adapt their strategies to local preferences. Legislative changes may also play a role in shaping competitive dynamics which businesses must be prepared to navigate. Conclusion. The anticipated disruptions in e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025 reveal a landscape that is rapidly evolving due to technological advancements, shifting consumer preferences, and economic pressures. Companies must not only adapt to these changes but also recognize the underlying trends that will shape their future. By focusing on consumer trust, sustainability, cybersecurity, dynamic pricing, and the rise of e-commerce, businesses can position themselves strategically to thrive in an increasingly competitive environment. Understanding these overlooked elements will be essential for any organization aiming for success in the coming years. The anticipated 50% disruption in e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025 is a pivotal event that underscores the need for in-depth analysis. Here are the 4 most valuable points for discussion based on the content provided. 1. Technological integration and AI adoption. The role of technology, particularly artificial intelligence (AI), is paramount in redefining operational efficiencies and customer experiences across the sectors impacted by disruption. E-commerce personalization. Companies are increasingly leveraging AI to personalize customer experiences based on historical data, thus driving sales and enhancing customer loyalty. For example, e-commerce platforms are integrating sophisticated algorithms that tailor product recommendations to individual user preferences. This trend not only boosts sales but also fosters long-term relationships with customers. Generative AI and search optimization. The shift towards generative engine optimization (GEO) highlights the evolving search landscape where traditional SEO is supplemented by AI-driven strategies. Companies must adapt their marketing efforts to ensure visibility in AI-generated search results, which is essential for staying competitive in a digital-first market. Cybersecurity investments. As technological adoption increases, so does the risk of cyber threats. Companies are compelled to prioritize cybersecurity as a foundational element of their operational strategy. With the growing sophistication of cyber attacks, investing in robust IT infrastructure becomes indispensable for protecting sensitive customer data and maintaining trust. 2. E-commerce market dynamics and consumer behavior. The anticipated disruption will reshape the competitive landscape of e-commerce, particularly through the emergence of micro-monopolies and shifting consumer preferences. Marketplace evolution. The dominance of established platforms like Amazon and Allegro suggests a trend toward the formation of micro-monopolies where consumer trust and convenience drive purchasing decisions. New entrants and mid-sized companies are responding by launching specialized marketplaces that cater to niche markets, enabling them to thrive alongside giants. Dynamic pricing strategies. With the complexity of multi-channel sales, companies will need to adopt dynamic pricing strategies that respond to market changes swiftly. This agility in pricing will be crucial for maintaining profit margins and ensuring competitiveness in an increasingly crowded market. Sustainability and local brand preference. There is a notable shift in consumer behavior towards sustainable practices and local brands. As consumers express a preference for shorter supply chains and transparency, companies must align their offerings with these values to attract and retain customers. This trend not only supports local economies but also encourages businesses to adopt environmental, social, and governance (ESG) principles. 3. Educational sector disruption through technology. The education sector is poised for significant disruption, primarily driven by the integration of technology and evolving learner expectations. Online learning models, as traditional educational formats face challenges, adaptive learning technologies will gain traction. Institutions must embrace digital platforms that offer personalized learning experiences tailored to individual student needs, thus enhancing engagement and outcomes. Skill development and lifelong learning. The increasing pace of technological change necessitates a focus on upskilling and reskilling. Educational providers will need to pivot towards offering continuous learning opportunities that align with the demands of the labor market, ensuring graduates are equipped with relevant skills. Access and equity in education. As education technology becomes more prevalent, addressing disparities in access to these resources will be crucial. Policymakers and educational institutions must collaborate to ensure that all learners benefit from technological advancements, particularly in underserved communities. 4. Sustainability and circular economy trends. The growing emphasis on sustainability and the circular economy is reshaping consumer preferences and business models across sectors. E-commerce growth. The second-hand market's expansion, exemplified by platforms like Vint, reflects a broader societal shift towards sustainability. This trend is not only driven by economic factors but also by a growing ecological awareness among consumers, particularly younger generations. Sustainable business practices. Companies are increasingly adopting ESG principles as core components of their operational strategies. This adoption extends beyond compliance and branding. It becomes a competitive differentiator as consumers increasingly seek out brands that align with their values. Policy and regulatory support. As consumer demand for sustainable products rises, there will be a need for supportive policies that encourage sustainable practices and protect local businesses. Legislative changes can play a crucial role in fostering an environment conducive to sustainable commerce. Conclusion. The anticipated disruptions in e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025 present both challenges and opportunities. Companies must leverage technological advancements, adapt to shifting consumer behaviors, and prioritize sustainability to navigate this evolving landscape successfully. Engaging in in-depth discussions around these key points will be essential for stakeholders aiming to remain competitive and resilient in the face of these disruptions. 1. The Industrial Revolution 1760 to 1840. The Industrial Revolution marked a pivotal period of transformation in manufacturing processes, moving from hand production methods to machines. This shift brought about significant disruptions across various sectors, including textiles, iron, and agriculture. The introduction of steam power and machinery led to increased productivity, but it also resulted in major societal changes such as urbanization and the rise of factory work. The competitive dynamics between emerging industrial powers also influenced global economic structures. Much like the anticipated disruptions in e-commerce and telecommunications in the present context. 2. The dot-com bubble 1995 to 2000. The dot-com bubble was characterized by a rapid rise in equity markets fueled by investments in internet-based companies. This period saw significant disruptions in traditional business models as e-commerce began to take off. Companies like Amazon and eBay emerged, fundamentally transforming retail and consumer behavior. However, the bubble burst in 2000, leading to a significant correction in the market and the closure of many startups. This era serves as a historical parallel to the current anticipated disruptions in e-commerce, where businesses must adapt to technological advancements and changing consumer preferences. 3. The rise of mobile telecommunications 2000s. The 2000s witnessed a seismic shift in telecommunications with the rise of mobile technology. The introduction of smartphones revolutionized communication, social interaction, and access to information. Companies had to adapt their business models to accommodate new technologies and consumer behaviors, leading to substantial disruptions in traditional telecommunications. This transformation parallels the anticipated disruptions in telecommunications and education sectors as companies integrate advanced technologies and optimize processes to meet evolving consumer demands. These cases illustrate how technological advancements and market dynamics have historically disrupted industries akin to the expected changes in e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025. Future outlook, predictions for e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025. 1. E-commerce landscape transformation. By Q4 2025, e-commerce is expected to undergo a profound transformation characterized by a 50% disruption across its operational frameworks. Key predictions include AI-driven personalization. The integration of AI will become ubiquitous, enabling hyper-personalized shopping experiences. Retailers will harness advanced algorithms to analyze consumer behavior and preferences, significantly enhancing product recommendations and marketing strategies. Emergence of specialized marketplaces. The e-commerce sector will see a rise in niche marketplaces, allowing small to mid-sized enterprises to compete effectively against giants like Amazon. This shift will foster a diversified marketplace ecosystem where consumer trust is paramount. Dynamic pricing mechanisms. To remain competitive, retailers will adopt dynamic pricing strategies utilizing real-time data to adjust prices based on market demand, consumer behavior, and competitor actions. Sustainability as a core principle. Sustainability will transition from a marketing tool to a fundamental business strategy. Consumers will increasingly favor brands that prioritize eco-friendly practices, leading to a rise in local and sustainable brands. 2. Education sector innovations. The education sector is poised for significant disruption with the following predictions. Blended learning models. By 2025, a hybrid model combining online and in-person education will become the norm. Institutions will invest in technology that supports flexibility in learning environments, catering to diverse student needs. AI in education. Educational platforms will increasingly leverage AI to personalize learning experiences, providing tailored content and feedback to students. This technology will help educators identify knowledge gaps and adapt teaching methods accordingly. Increased focus on skills-based learning. As the job market evolves, educational institutions will prioritize skills-based training and vocational programs, partnering with industries to ensure curricula align with real-world demands. Global learning networks. The rise of digital platforms will facilitate global collaboration among students and educators, creating interconnected learning communities that transcend geographical barriers. 3. Telecommunications evolution. The telecommunications industry will experience profound changes driven by technological advancements and consumer expectations. 5G and beyond. The rollout of 5G technology will revolutionize telecommunications, enabling faster data transfer and enhancing connectivity for IoT devices. This will lead to new applications in smart cities, autonomous vehicles, and telemedicine. Integrated communication platforms. Telecommunications will shift towards integrated platforms that combine voice, video, and messaging services, providing seamless communication experiences for users across devices. Focus on cybersecurity. As cyber threats increase, telecommunications companies will prioritize cybersecurity measures to protect user data and maintain trust. Investments in secure infrastructure will become essential. Sustainability initiatives. Similar to other sectors, telecoms will adopt sustainable practices focusing on reducing carbon footprints and improving energy efficiency in network operations. 4. Common themes across sectors. Several overarching themes will emerge across e-commerce education and telecommunications. Technological integration. The adoption of advanced technologies, particularly AI and data analytics, will be critical for optimizing operations and enhancing user experiences. Consumer-centric approaches. all sectors will prioritize understanding and addressing consumer needs, with a focus on personalized services and sustainable practices. Adaptation to economic pressures. Companies will need to remain agile, adapting quickly to economic challenges and shifting market dynamics. Emphasis on sustainability. Sustainability will not only be a competitive advantage but also a necessity as consumers increasingly demand responsible practices. 5. Conclusion. The anticipated disruptions in e-commerce education and telecommunications by Q4 2025 will redefine these industries. Companies that embrace technological advancements, prioritize consumer needs, and adopt sustainable practices will position themselves for success. As the global landscape evolves, adaptability and innovation will be paramount for navigating the challenges and opportunities ahead.